I said, Derek, it'll be hard for me to work against you. He goes, look, man, this is business, buddy. I mean, he goes, I would love for you to be in the other corner because it'll make the fight just that much more interesting. You know what I mean? He goes, you got to help sell it, you know? And that's what he said to me. You know, I was like, all right, big man. You know, he's like, yo, you got to help sell it, man. You know, you trained me. Now you're training Dill. We got a rivalry. You being there, it'll make it just that much more interesting, he said. He goes, you got to think business, buddy, business.
This is James Luckton for Round 8 Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Mr. Buddy Mcgirt. Buddy, how are you, sir?
Good, good in yourself.
Very good, thank you. Thanks for joining me. Obviously, we're very close to fight now. Let's talk about Callum Smith versus Joshua Buatsi. Firstly, Joshua Buatsi, for you in camp, you would spend time on studying, watching footage of Josh. What are Josh's pros and cons?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't watch videos of guys that my guys face.
Why is that, buddy? Because a lot of people do. Why do you not?
I don't because what are they going to do that you haven't seen? You know what I mean? Like, what are these guys today going to do that you haven't seen?
Hmm.
And if you've seen them fight once, I mean, you pretty much know what to expect.
How much of Buatsi have you seen previously?
Well, I just saw once, you know, when he fought Dan Aziz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I saw enough. I don't need to see anything else, to be honest.
Obviously, for Callum, this is very much a fight at the top level. I'm not going to say make or break or crossroads fight for Callum, but obviously Callum wants to get back to world level and world title fights, and this is certainly a fight that will propel him into that mix. Just how big is this fight for the team?
I mean, it's a big, big fight, you know, for both of them, really. You know what I mean? But you know, for Callum, definitely. You know, so this is his second shot at the title in a year. So, you know, we gotta get in there and handle business. We can't be BSing.
What's it like working with Callum? I know we spoke about it previously, but just touch on that. What's it like working with Callum? I know you worked with
It's
Paul before.
it's great. You know, he's a hard worker. You know what I mean? And whatever you ask him to do, he does it. He doesn't talk back. He handles his business. You know, he's a real professional.
You spent quite a few weeks in Liverpool with Callum. Does that make a big difference to Callum to um, do a big, large chunk of his camp in Liverpool at home?
Well, you know, normally we he comes to Florida for a few,
Mm.
and then after that we come to Liverpool. But he asked me, "Can I come here for 5 weeks?" I was like, "Sure." You know what I mean? So I've been packed since last week. I'm ready to get the heck out of here.
Obviously, it's not your first time in Liverpool or doing a camp overseas over here in the UK. You're over here quite regularly with your fighters. You seem to have quite an affinity with the British fighters. You work with quite a lot
Yeah.
of our guys. For you, in terms of the UK fight fans, do you like the UK fight fans? I know it's in Saudi this fight, but in terms of the UK fight fans, what's your opinion of those?
I mean, listen, the boxing people here are great. The fans are great here. You know what I mean? The people here. I mean, there's no complaints really. You know,
Just the
I went.
weather.
I was at. Well, oh my God. I was at the Chisora fight, and I sat. I sat with the commission guys. Like I was right behind Derek's corner. You know what I mean? Like I sat, right, and no one bothered me. They actually did. I want anything. They didn't ask me for a ticket. Just they just said, "Buddy, you can sit there," and they left me alone, and it was great.
I mean, you've earned the right.
Thank you.
You mentioned Chisora. I was going to speak about Chisora as well. Let's come on to him whilst you mention him there. I know you worked with Chisora before. You're still friendly with him. I remember we went out for lunch one time a little while back, and Derek was ringing you up whilst we was out for lunch. That's
Yeah,
it with Derek. Just talk to me about that. And I mean, Derek's a character. What's he like?
I love the guy, man. He's a great guy, man. You know, I got nothing but love and respect for him. You know, there's nothing in the world I wouldn't do for him, man. He's a great human being, man.
Obviously, he's one more fight 50 for Chisora, and he's out. He's packing his bags, hanging his gloves up, and walking away from the sport, albeit a little bit reluctantly, I think. But in terms of his last fight, the last hurrah, who would you like to see him fight? After that fight, he was saying Dubois, Usyk, AJ. Who would you like to see Derek fight?
Nobody.
It's time
I like to see him retire.
for his own
You know what I mean?
good for his own health.
Yeah, I think that right now I understand. You know, I want to have 50, but you got to say, is it worth it? He don't need the money. He still got his health, which is very important. So I think that I know he's gonna go ahead because that's just who he is. But I wish that he just have a change of mind and say, you know what, that's it for me. Your family and your health is more important. I mean, he will always be remembered. So it's not like they're gonna forget about him. You know what I mean? I mean, with a guy with 13 losses to get the press and to set out stadiums with 13 losses, that's unheard of. You know what I mean? And he told me one day, he said, "Listen, because it's not like I'm gonna be heavyweight champion of the world." He says, "But I'm gonna be able to take care of my family and make sure my family's straight." And hey, I gotta say, man, he's done it, and I think that me personally, I think that he should just say that's it. What does he have to prove? He's known. He's more known in the UK more than some world champions are. You know what I mean? And he's loved, man. I mean, the crowd was going crazy that night.
They were, and like you say, certainly an unforgettable character. He won't be forgotten, especially in UK and British boxing. Um, for you, you've been a fighter yourself. How hard is it to walk away from the sport like Derek's finding now?
It's the hardest thing in the world to do because what else you gonna do with your life? You got all the money, but what are you gonna do? I mean, all you know is boxing. You know is training. I guarantee he's been to the gym already at least twice since the fight. So now you're going now to the gym. Now you're working out, but for what? You know what I mean? So you said just that one more, just that one more. But sometimes just that one more is not worth it.
Obviously, for you, buddy, you went into coaching, but you sort of knew that a long time before, even when you was fighting, you knew you was going to be a coach. You had that path set out. That's what you wanted to do. For Derek, does he have to stay within boxing? Does he need to find a role within boxing to still be, I suppose, satisfied in life?
You know what? I think that a guy like him, if he stayed in it, he wouldn't fight again. I think he should do something else until that urge is gone. Or, reality just like, yo, that's it. But if he stays in it, doing something in it, he's going to get the urge. It happens. It happens, especially if you've been at the top of the game. You know what I'm saying? And, he's at the top of his game, at the top of the game, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like this, oh, he's got 13 losses. Yeah, but the world still loves him. I mean, everybody loves the guy. And he knows that if he's fighting, there's going to be asses in the seats. The promoter knows if he's fighting, there's going to be asses in the seats. And that's all well and good, but it comes a point in time where you got to say, yo, that's it.
Is it
You
almost a,
know?
is it almost a catch-22 because obviously he's winning. He's won his last few fights. Obviously, Joyce was a great win. Otto Wallin at the weekend was a great win. But it's a double-edged sword because you're winning, but you're trying to close it out to fight 50. But if he wins that fight 50, he's going to want fight 51, surely.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? So, like I say, we're the first ones to know, but the last ones to admit it. You know what I mean? And like I say, man, I mean, there's nothing in the world I wouldn't do for the guy. He's a great guy, man, and and he has a beautiful family. And I think that right now he should just say that's it. But we know he's not. You know what I mean? I mean, we know he's not. So it's like, okay, who are you gonna fight next? You can't fight a puncher. I mean, you can't put him in with a puncher. You know what I mean? Like Wallen was a perfect opponent for him. Couldn't hurt him. You know what I mean? And Derek took the fight out of him before the fight started. You know
There's
what I mean?
a lot of talk about a trilogy fight with Dillian Whyte. Is he an opponent that you would put him in with?
You
Is
know,
enough
I,
of a
I,
puncher to
I
avoid?
told Derek, I said, look, man, please. I mean, listen, I know how I said, Derek, it'll be hard for me to work against you. He goes, look, man, this is business, buddy. I mean, he goes, I would love for you to be in the other corner because it'll make the fight just that much more interesting. You know what I mean? He goes, you got to help sell it, And that's what he said to me. I was like, all right, big man. He's like, yo, you got to help sell it, man. You trained me. Now you're training Dill. We got a rivalry. You being there, it'll make it just that much more interesting, he said. He goes, you got to think business, buddy, business. Him, that's him.
It is. And how hard would that be for you?
Very.
Because like, I know how
Because,
close you are with Derek.
because you know why? When I trained Derek, I was here during COVID.
Mm.
I mean, but this man just took care of me like he knew me 100 years, man. There was nothing like they put me in a hotel in the regular room. He came to see me. He goes, no, no, no. He went downstairs to the front desk and said, hey, you got to put him in a suite with a kitchen, everything. And they did. I mean, he goes, now this is more like it. This, you're good. And look, every day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever I wanted was delivered to the hotel, no questions asked. No matter what time, no matter what, it was there. You know what I mean? And whatever I needed, he was just always there. You know what I mean? He always looked out for me. He should check on me every day. Even the weekends when he was off here, call me, you okay? You need anything? I'm like, good. I'm gonna come by and see you here. Come by and see me. So he made me feel comfortable here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's talk. We mentioned Dillian Whyte. Let's talk about his next fight. Dillian has got a fight announced. Joe Joyce, obviously,
yeah.
fought Chisora previously. Um, it's a good domestic heavyweight dust up there. It's a good fight for Dillian. That
It's a good fight. Yes, it is. It is a good fight. To get him back where he needs to be. So just got to get ready. He just fought not too long ago, so he's not that far out of shape.
Mhm.
So and we still got time. We still, what I mean, we got the whole month of March ahead of us.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be all right. After this fight, we'll start training. Well, he's training already, but I just got to get through this first, and then go home, and then get situated and get to wherever we're gonna train at.
We mentioned characters and Chisora's character. What's Dillian like? He's another guy who's
Another nice guy. Listen, they crazy in front of everybody. Dylan's a sweetheart, man. Dylan's a good dude, man. He's the same way. You believe it or not, he checks on me even when I'm here like now in Liverpool. He calls me to check on me. You know what I mean? So they both are good guys. I mean, they big and crazy. You know what I mean? They big and crazy, but they great dudes, man. I love being around both of them, man, because they keep me laughing.
it must be nice for you because as a coach and a fighter, you've got to have that relationship. You've got to have that click.
Yeah,
And it's clear to see that you do have that with your fighters and with all of them as well. Even your ex-fighters still now like Chisora, you still got that
yeah,
connection.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, when my family, when Dylan fought here, my family came. Derek was training to fight Tyson Fury, and he goes, "I'm coming to meet your family," and he came. He came to the hotel to meet my family. I said, "Nah, man, you training?" He goes, "Nah, buddy, nah, 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 I'm coming," and he came.
Well, buddy, thank you very much for your time. Always a pleasure speaking to you, and
All
all the
right,
best
thank you.
weekends. Thank you.
All right, babe, take care.
Yes, bye.